Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey y'all, I'm JJ.
Hey guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to another episode of Don't Blame Me. On today's episode, we have Joslyn Davis, and we talk about a roommate who's having sex while you are sleeping and coming out to your roommates. It's exciting.
Get $50 off select mattresses by visiting casper.com/blame and using promo code BLAME at checkout.
Welcome back to another episode of Don't Blame Me. And today we have Joslyn who's here. Oh, you're a firstie lastie. I'm sorry. Joslyn Davis.
Oh my gosh, a firstie lastie. That's so cute.
You definitely are, because you're an icon.
Well, coming from an icon such as yourself, that means a lot. It's so lovely to be here in your home, on your podcast.
I'm so happy to have you here
I
in
feel
my
like
home.
we should recreate sweaty balls.
Sweaty balls.
Megan, did you make me any sweaty balls?
Sweaty balls?
Mm.
Well, guys, you guys can also be watching this on YouTube. We are still filming the episodes back by popular demand. So you can see Jocelyn looks snatched today. You got some
so
nice,
snatched.
nice
so much
buns.
old makeup. I think I definitely don't have deodorant on. So this is not scratch and sniff, thank God.
Thank God. I definitely did I put deodorant on, or was that yesterday?
Where are we?
Where are we? What day is today? I mean, I got a parking ticket on my own street, so that's how
glorious
sick my day's going.
That's neat.
Street cleaning, just not moving my car. Lived here for years. Solid. Love my life.
Whatever.
It's whatever. Well, I'm so excited for you to be on here.
I am so excited to be here in this aesthetically pleasing environment. I feel like I'm in a Pinterest board when I'm at Megan's house.
Oh, stop it.
And this show is so good, and I have so many questions for you.
First
off, your podcast voice.
Okay. Does it sound like me normally?
It sounds like you, but like the Dr.
It's
Megan
smarter?
version.
Oh, I could take that.
Also, all the answers you give are so good.
I wouldn't say they're all so good. I would say they're all more often than not, I do spend about 15 minutes before I go to bed with a little bit of regret of being like, should I have said this or should I have not? But I'm still holding my breath and waiting for someone to call back and be like, took your advice, you fucked up my fucking life.
But that's okay. That happens sometimes.
It does, but I don't want to know.
Yet,
and also, I never, if that happens, you've heard it here. I just don't want to ever fucking talk about it.
Let us know. Let us know.
Don't tell me.
Tell us what you learned from it.
Exactly. But this show is so good.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
I've learned.
Have you?
Yes, I have.
I feel like I need to start taking my own advice because I think I hear some of the stuff that I say to people and then I'm like, wow, damn, Megan, I feel like my life would be a whole lot more together if I listened to.
I mean, don't
myself.
we all though? That's why I'm like scared to go to a Tony Robbins summit because I'm
Are
like,
you going
crap.
to a Tony Robbins
I've
summit?
been like toying with the idea forever, but I'm too afraid to walk on fire or hot coals or whatever
As
the
your
hell
friend,
you have to do.
As your friend, no,
Let's
you're
just
not
go
going.
together for fun.
No, that's no. You
see it,
can't
dream it,
go.
believe it.
You can't. I fucking hate that. I'm sorry. You can't. You can't. You're successful. You're a badass, and you don't need some like random white dude to tell you that you are.
I also don't have deodorant on, so
he's not gonna hug you. This is Don't Blame Me. It is my advice podcast. You guys call in, you leave voicemails, and you let us know the things that are happening in your life that you need some advice on. And then we give you some advice. So we're going to listen to those voicemails. And if you guys want to call in and be featured on the podcast, you can use the number 310-694-0976. Ooh.
That was seamless. Numbers.
Very seamless. If you're on the video feed, you can look at my face and be like, I'm contorting trying to find the numbers in my head, like Harold and the Purple Crayon. Like, where are they? And if you're an international caller, you can email meganpodcast@gmail.com with a audio file. Just record it on your phone and send it on over. And now we're going to play those and we're going to give people advice.
I'm nervous.
I mean, you're smart and like successful, so you're going to be good at this.
That is generous. Thank you so much. But you're so good at this.
I'm not that good. But let's keep up the appearance.
Let's keep up the appearance.
I'm crushing it. Manifestation.
Ugh.
Tony Robbins. Okay, on to the first call.
Hi, Megan. Okay, this is really complicated relationship situation, so I'm going to try and go as quickly as possible. Basically, I'm 20 and have been in a long-distance relationship for about 2 years with a 25-year-old boy who lives in LA. We're going to school in Seattle, and we've been visiting each other about once a month and love each other very much. It's been going very well until this happened. We have always had the end game plan of me moving down to LA after I graduate. We both work within the film industry in our separate cities, him in LA and me in Seattle. He's always said how he can see himself marrying me, being with me long term, having kids with me, etc., even though we both know we won't be ready for marriage and kids for quite a while. This past year, our relationship got a little more serious as I spent Thanksgiving with his family. He spent Christmas and New Year's with mine. We both had met each other's parents before, but spending the holidays with each other's families was a step forward. Okay, so here's where it gets a little funky. Over New Year's, I expressed some stress about the idea of moving down to LA next year after I graduate because I've never been far away from home and I'm worried about leaving my film contacts in Seattle and starting over in LA. It doesn't mean I don't want the move to happen for us or for my own film career. I was just trying to say that I'm afraid of the unknown as LA is a much more competitive film environment. He said he feels a certain amount of pressure to keep me happy in LA because I would only know him and his family at first. Even though I tried to tell him he's not responsible for my happiness, he didn't seem convinced. Fast forward 2 weeks, and now my boyfriend broke up with me because he doesn't think he wants to be in a committed relationship. Also, we broke up last year around the same time about something else, but we got back together 4 months later, so I don't know whether or not to believe this will blow over or if this is permanent. I've been giving him the space for the time being. We plan on talking again in a month, but I don't know whether to hope for him to change his mind based on the fact that he still feels strongly for me or to just forget about him. I don't want to forget about him, but at this point, I don't know what else to do. I don't want a New Year's breakup tradition every year, but I really feel like he just needs time to realize that there's no pressure to get down on one knee and that our relationship is worth it. But I know there's nothing I can do to change his mind.
Oh no.
This is so sad. It really tugs on my heartstrings,
I know.
like in a real way.
It makes you want to hug people. Specifically her, not just like people in general.
Exactly.
I mean, what I would say off the bat is, I think by the end of the call, you kind of know what
came to your own conclusion,
yeah.
right?
I mean, I'm a firm believer you should never have to convince somebody to be with you and want to stay with you. The same way that I would never want to end up in a relationship in which I feel like the only reason I've stayed in it is because someone else has really wanted me to. And that's what I would say. I think like not wanting to be in a committed relationship, like that's like, even if you broke up last year and all that kind of stuff, it sounds like you just balls needs to be back in your court. Like this is like, it feels like you're very much at the will or at the mercy of like whatever his timeline is and like all the shit that he's feeling and being like, well, I'm not ready for this. I'm blah, blah, blah kind of thing. And ultimately, I think in that case, if you're not consistently the dumpy, but if you're consistently the one who someone else is being like, I'm not cool with this, or whatever, you kind of then mask any sort of negative feelings you have because
Mhm.
you're just being like, oh,
I want to be
wanna make
happy so that you're happy. Sort
because
of a thing.
as they're the ones who are unhappy, and so then when they get happy, you just don't want to mess that up.
Mhm.
And so I think I think that just ends up that you're sacrificing.
Yeah, and it's so hard. I've never really done a long distance relationship in a real way. And I think, listen, I believe in exceptions to rules. Like my parents met in high school. They're happily married for like
They're
decades.
so cute.
They like make out in front of us. So when people are like, that never happens, I'm like, well, it happens sometimes. So I do believe there are exceptions. Like maybe that's you guys. Who knows? But it kind of sounds like, and I've seen this in my own life and in friends, like sometimes you're just looking for an excuse to like end things so that you can move on. Maybe that's you, or maybe that's your boyfriend. Maybe just having that like moment of you being like, I'm nervous about moving. That doesn't sound like a big enough reason to break up. Because of course you're going to be nervous about moving. That's a huge deal. But what do you want to do? Like, do you want to stay in Seattle? Because if you do, you should.
I very much agree with that. And I also think when it comes like industry wise, you can, depending on what you want to do within the industry, like, yes, LA is like the hot spot for it all. But like, if you've got a successful thing going on in Seattle, but you just feel like you have to move to LA because that's just like in the textbook would be the next kind of step, I would say alter that to what you want and what you feel like is going to further your career. Because starting in LA, that's like you'll be a tiny fish in a really big pond. And I think if that's something that you want, totally. And I also think the fear of feeling like, I don't know, was it her boyfriend said it felt like, her boyfriend said he felt like if she moved to LA,
he'd have to make her happy.
which I think is also a very valid fear in his eyes. And I think it's also a little bit telling of maybe, oh fuck, I hate to say this, but like if he's so worried that he will be your only friend there, it doesn't really sound like he is, as much as he says he ends up he's going to plan on marrying you. That to me sounds like, I don't want you to move out here for us to eventually break up. That's what that
it's
sounds
a lot
like
of
to
stress.
me.
Yeah,
that
I see.
If he thought that you guys were like end game and you're going to get married and this was that, like I don't think he would have reservations about you moving out to LA and then having no other people. Because if you guys were going to be together like forever, obviously you'd make friends, but you'd be living with him. Like you know his friends, you'd be immersed in this circle that he's already built there. But if he's trying to prep that of being like, you're not going to have your own life kind of a thing, it's like, well, why? Not that I'm saying you should obviously have your own life even if you're in a relationship, but like if it seems like he's just kind of like, it's the prequel to being like, I think we'll break up.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Tough.
Well, yeah, I would say be single. And I think if you want to move to LA, totally fucking do it. It's a big city. You can completely avoid him. But yeah, I'd say be single for a while and then go into your next relationship with like deal breakers on your end and not just like making sure that you're accommodating other people's needs.
Yes, girl.
That's what
I
would
like
say.
that.
Okay, on to the next one.
Hello, Megan. My name is I am 19 years old and a freshman in college. And I am currently living like in a dorm situation with a roommate and then two suite mates that share a bathroom. And I get along really well with all the girls. And we're all really good friends. And I think that after like we move out and like the roommate situation ends, we can still be really good friends. And so there's no problem with that. There's a little bit of a problem though, is that I'm gay and I don't have a problem with it. But I'm scared that they might. And I haven't told them yet. And you know, we all hang out together and get ready together, and you know, we're in like various states of interest, you know, together, and we'll sit and like cuddle and watch movies together and stuff. And I have zero romantic or sexual feelings for these girls. But I'm scared if I came out to them that they would think that I'm like a creep or like prying on them, and obviously that's like 100% untrue, and I have a girlfriend. So I would like to come out to them because, like I said, I feel like this is a really good friendship that we're forming, and it could continue to be a friendship after like this roommate situation ends. But I'm not really sure what to say to them. I kind of wanted to sit down with them, have a conversation. But yeah, I'm not really sure what words, what language I should use. And so I just wanted to see if you had any advice for me on what I could say to tell them to come out and assure them that I don't have any feelings or that I don't creep on them or anything like that.
I love her.
Me too.
What a cutie.
Gosh.
Here's the one thing that popped right into my head at the beginning is that if you guys are so close and spending so much time together, something that might be comforting for you, because I've been on the flip side of this situation before, not this exact situation, is that maybe they kind of already know, but are just like trying to be sensitive to you, or don't know if you're out yet, or like want to just like be supportive and be a good friend to you. I know I've had friends in the past where I'm just like, you know, you just don't know, but like you kind of do. And you just want them to be able to live life on their own terms and be able to share everything about their lives with you and with the world. But you're just, you know, you can't force anyone into a situation. So I feel like that might be comforting for you just to kind of have in your heart as you go into this situation.
Yeah, I very much agree with that. And I think more often than not, we've had people call into the podcast who are friends of people who are like, I know my friend is gay and I don't know what to do to get them to tell me. And so again, you're on the flip side of this. I think their reaction, I think, heavily depends on where you guys are and where they were brought up. I mean, I had a friend come out as gay pretty like maybe beginning of high school, but like we knew forever. And like she never came out to us, but like it was never like a weird kind of thing. I think the way I always describe it to like people who I'm like, it's not like I'm attracted to, as someone who identifies as straight, I'm not attracted to every fucking guy I see. Like
so
it's
true.
so rare for me to find a guy I'm actually interested in. So for it's a flip side with like gay guys coming out to other guys thinking like, well, are you into me, man? It's like, well, think about how many girls in the world, or how many people that you're like, how many of that gender that you're actually interested in, how many are you really actually attracted to? But I think there's a couple of ways to do it. I think if you really are I'm always the one to be like, go for it. Your true friends are totally going to be there and support you. But if you feel like this could actually really jeopardize your comfort in your living situation, then I think you can wait until you guys don't live together anymore.
That's a good point.
Because I think
you don't want this to affect your living situation and your life.
And even if their response, like even if it's, obviously, I'm so glad that you know there's literally nothing wrong with being gay and like you're totally fine with it. It might be potentially really sucky if I don't know, like I hope if they're not supportive, they'll come around. But I don't know how great that is for your mental health to like be in the middle of that.
Here's one thing I will say that I remember like being in high school and just seeing like idiots like making fun of kids who were like different in whatever way. And I remember going to college and just being around people who were smarter in general. I mean, there's still idiots in college. Like, don't get me wrong. I might have dated a few of them, but like just being around people who generally are more open-minded. I mean, depending on where you go to school, just sort of also have that in the back of your mind that these people probably might be different than people you're used to being around. So I hope that you do get to a point to where you can share it with them because they sound like great friends.
Yeah. And if you want to play it super fucking casual, you can literally be like, hey guys, can we all go out to dinner? I really want to introduce you guys to my girlfriend. And like, you don't have to like have it be this sit down kind of thing. And yeah, and like I think that is a great way to do it because it's kind of like, first of all, you don't we always say this, you don't really owe anyone anything in this. Like you don't have to come out to anyone ever. It's like it's your sexual identity, like that's all you. So I think if you want to introduce them to your girlfriend, I say like just do like you say it like that. It doesn't have to be a huge ordeal if that feels like too much pressure. But if you want to come out to them and do it like that, I think whatever you feel like is going to, I don't know, make you like not want to call into a podcast and ask about it. Like something that's going to make you feel
do
like
it because it's good for you too, not because you're worried about their reactions or what other people are going to think. Do what you feel like is best for you at this time in your life.
That's what I would do. And I think it's going to end up wonderful.
I think so too. You sound cool.
You do. Let's hang out. Okay, on to the next one.
My issue is I am about to be 23, and last year, 2017, long story short, I was with a guy who I met in middle school, and we reconnected after 10 years, and long story short, got engaged, and that wedding was called off less than a week before the actual day of the wedding, which sucked. So I'm back into the dating world, and dating is not going well for me. My friends can't introduce me to people because they don't have guys to introduce me to. I've tried online dating, and that's not working for me. Potentials, I feel like I have a right to be a little selfish and a little picky at this point. That may sound bad, but that's how I feel. And I've talked to maybe one or two guys and gone on one or two dates that ended up being a disaster. As in, I paid for the date. I drove my car all the way to Atlanta, which is about an hour from me. So it's just kind of been a crazy ride for me, and I just need advice on what to do as far as how to date without having to go online or, I don't meet people well. I work in a job where I meet people every day, but they're older people. They're people in their 40s and 50s. And like I said, I'm 23. So I'm just struggling, and I'm just not doing a good job. So any advice you could give me is great.
First of all, I think you should be single for a while.
I was going to say the exact same thing. I think at the end of the call, you said, I'm not doing well. I'm struggling. First off, everyone goes through
Dating
a lot
sucks.
of dating issues. I mean, everyone I know for sure has been through their fair share. Also, I can't imagine calling off a wedding a week before.
And you being okay 7 months later.
Yeah, I feel like your initial response, just hang out with yourself and some gal pals or non-boyfriend boyfriends.
That's what I would say. I would say right now, I think you're going to find faults in every person that you date, because coming from somebody who will totally knock myself down. I went from the first guy I ever dated, I think I was 15, 16, and I didn't stop dating, bouncing from boyfriend to boyfriend or guy that I was seeing or whatever until I was 20, 19 or 20 or something like that. I constantly had, and whether it was something serious or not, I always had a guy to text. I always had someone to send cute things to. I always had someone someplace to sleep. I always had that. And it wasn't until I was single for a good amount of time where I made that choice that I realized I hadn't even gotten over heartbreaks from years before. And so I think what I would say is you're going to find faults in every person that you're dating if you're not ready to date. Because I also think that that kind of that shit, first of all, I'm so sorry. That fucking sucks. Calling off a wedding a week before it happens, that takes that could be a whole premise of a Hallmark movie. That takes some time to heal. So I would say I wouldn't jump back into it. Also, again, no offense. I think that it's fucked up to say. I also think it's probably going to scare some really good guys off, because it's if I started seeing someone and I found out that they had just gotten out of a really serious relationship, even
the
marriage,
week before,
you'd be
a month before, you're not ready.
I'd be like, you know what, I'm putting up a block here, and we might have actually really worked or gotten along, but you're not ready for this, so I need to protect myself. So I think the fact that if you tell
That's
somebody
so true.
that,
oh my gosh, I've had that thought before.
Completely,
now
where
that
you
I think of it.
Totally shut off someone because you're no, you're, which again, it's prejudging. You might
not
feel
that it's
totally,
okay, but
no.
I definitely will admit to have done
Completely.
doing that in the past.
It's I think if someone had I'm oh, he has a really complicated situation with his ex and they've been on again, off again. I'm I don't want to deal with that stuff. You are not looking for what I'm looking for right now. So I would say, I think you need to give yourself some time, because that's that, not that I'm saying that you should live your dating life based on how other people are perceiving it, but knowing that the people that you're looking to date, if you got out of an engagement 7 months before that was called off a week before that, if I was dating someone who'd gone through that, I'd be you know what, I think you need some time
to just heal.
Yeah, because you should, because that, I mean, also, if that didn't affect you, how? That's amazing. I get so upset over a parking ticket.
I'm sad when my Cheez-Its run out.
100. Oh my God, totally. If I burn food, I'm really? I spent all this time.
But one thing I will say in my old age that I've realized. I'm 74, Megan. Everyone knows.
You look
73.
great.
Come on.
Thank you. Is that lifestyle is so important. And like, I was single for so many years. I would say like I'm single and off the market because there were so many things. I was in a long relationship when I was really young too. And there was just so many things I wanted to do. I wanted to see the world and start
Go
my
on The Amazing
career and
Race.
do all those crazy things. Is that lifestyle is something that's really important and a cool way to meet people. So I would encourage you to find some new hobbies, not your job, some new hobbies that you're passionate about, whether that's travel or salsa dancing or working out. And maybe through the course of exploring these new things, you'll find someone else who enjoys similar activities. And maybe that could be something fun you could share as friends or lovers.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's a really good idea.
I don't know. That's something that I've realized as I've gotten older. Like, I don't like to hit the club anymore.
What? It's really? You scream someone who hits the club all the
I
time.
used to pop bottles, but now I'm like, ooh, after 7:30, nothing good's happening.
Nothing. Literally nothing.
So it's important
to
to find someone who like, you can kind
Yeah.
of share a similar lifestyle with.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I also think doing something out of your normal routine. Because when you getting over a breakup and stuff, if you have like the same friends that you had when you're going through this engagement and all this stuff, and you have the same job and things like that, I think starting something like for yourself that just has the end goal of like making you happy and like trying something new. I think not only is it a great way to meet people, I think it's a really great way for you to, I don't know, like learn more about yourself.
Like do like a local version of Eat, Pray, Love.
Yeah.
In your own hometown. I think it's like daunting to be like, oh, I'm going to move to a new city and reinvent myself.
Ugh,
but
that
I mean,
sounds
just
like
like a few new small things
Yeah.
that you can explore on your own outside of, your bubble or whatever.
Yeah. I would say that. You'll be good. Okay. On to the next call.
My name's 18, and I am in a big group message with about 30 people of my closest friends, about half are girls, half are boys. And this weekend was the Women's March, and two of my very best friends went to the local rally that we had, which is not actually local, it's like 4 hours away, but that's beside the point. So we actually just had a very big discussion / fight / argument in the large group message about women's rights. And it seems that none of these boys that I'm friends with understand the need for women's rights and the need for equality. They're actually, I can quote one of them and say, name a few rights that women don't have that men do have, which absolutely baffled me. So I guess my question is, how do I and the rest of my girlfriends remain friends with these boys and remain in close contact with them when they don't understand the need for respect that they should have for us? And I guess just how do we either get through to them, or how do we look past their, I don't know, their neglect for equality, I guess.
Oh my God.
First things first, I think texting conversations can be very challenging, especially when
30
like
people?
30 people, that is just
I don't
making my
have that
heart beat
many
so
friends.
fast. I feel like you guys maybe need to sit down in person. A lot can be lost in translation. I know I'm guilty of that. And I think face-to-face contact with another human being might even open their hearts and minds a
Mhm.
little bit. That would be my first bit of advice.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a journey, I think.
I think that's I think you and your friends should definitely do exactly that and be like, hey guys, let's like go to lunch and talk and have a conversation. And I think put it all out on the table, state the facts, and whatever their response is, if it ends up being like, oh, they were being sarcastic on text, or if it was like they really were ignorant and they're willing and able to learn and they're kind of like, holy shit, I had no idea. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for enlightening me. And they've just been sheltered and they're now able to not only understand the point of view, but like, be a feminist and like be a supporter of it. I think if that happens, great. You've been able to like broaden the horizons of a bunch of these guys that you're friends with. If not, I do not think you should be friends with them. Like, it's just, first of all, you even said this, like, how do we deal with like guys, our guy friends who don't respect us? Like, what the fuck?
That's not friendship.
It's not. And I've said it on the podcast before, but it's like you should hold the people, your friends, to the same standard you hold your relationships. Like the shit that you wouldn't let slide. Like, would you ever let slide if your boyfriend was like, yeah, women's rights, fuck them. Like you would never do that. But it's like because it's a friend, you kind of give them a little more leeway, which I don't think is fair.
And there's also different layers to friendship. Like, are these people your inner circle, like your wolf pack? Then you need
text though.
Then you need to get on the same page. If these are like acquaintances that you see walking down the street, it's like that's the world, and that's just very unfortunate. But I think it's great that you are taking a step in your friends to enlighten these people. You are 18. I don't know if you're in high school, but some of these people may have never been exposed to the concept of what feminism is, which is just literally like women deserve the same things as men. Like imagine working at McDonald's and like your guy friend makes $8 and you make $7. Like that's happening in the world, not at McDonald's. Shout out, love your fries. But that's just like an example kind of that I don't know anyone that would say that's okay. And if they do, like it's time to trim the fat.
Yeah, that's a bigger issue. I think if someone that's an issue of just being like, oh, you know the situation, you've been made aware of it, you hear both sides of the argument, and you're still like, don't give a shit. That is like, I don't think that person brings nothing to your life. Like, what fantastic things can they bring to the table that mask the fact that they don't think that you deserve the same rights as them? That's kind of how I feel. I'm like, if they don't bring, I don't know, I have friends that I like going to Target with. I have friends that I like just hanging out at home with, like friends that are fun to travel with. Like, I have friends that fulfill different, not necessarily like parts of like my personality, but like I like to do different things with
different people.
Yeah, but it's like not one of those people. None of those people in my life, there's something that I'm like, oh, well, oh shit, you know, I've got this one friend who I really like, but I can't hang out with her at women's marches because, you know, she hates women. Like at a certain point, like people can be like better for, like friends can be like your friends who you hang out with and you go to parties with and all that stuff.
But your
like,
core values,
like that shouldn't
hopefully you share,
so much.
You should share those.
Yeah, like human rights. like it's so fucking
I mean,
basic.
guys, this is some basic stuff here, but I think you need to start by giving everyone the benefit of the doubt of face-to-face time. And if you move on from that and they're like, I just believe women shouldn't vote, then it's time to move on.
They're never getting laid. Like literally never going to have sex ever with that mentality.
No.
So yeah, I would say fuck that if they can't, yeah, I don't think you should look past it because I think, I don't know, I think that's part of a problem too, is a lot of people accepting really shitty behavior and like intolerance, which I just don't think it's worth it at all. Also, that's a big fucking group chat. You can you won't miss all of them.
I wish I could remember what Janelle Monáe said at the Grammys. She's like,
it was good.
We come in peace, but we come to get
Fuck
down
shit
to
up.
business or something. I don't know what it is.
Good.
You don't have to, and I think people get stressed out. I know I have a fear of confrontation that I've just have had to learn how to face throughout my life. So don't be scared to have these tough conversations. No. You could honestly change someone's life. You could change the world.
You could change the goddamn world. And
It's
if
true.
you need help with confrontation, just call me up and put me on speakerphone. I love confrontation. I fucking love it. It's a terrible part of my personality.
You do?
I love planned confrontation. I don't like being attacked.
Oh my gosh.
But if I know it's coming or if I'm when I'm right, which is
always.
I love that. I love that. Also because I don't fight or argue. Well, I'm not a yeller, but I also don't argue anything unless I 100% know I'm true because there's nothing worse than being wrong.
It's the worst.
I just will not. If I'm not 1,000% sure of something, I will be like, no, totally, you're right. Totally, you're right. Totally, you're right. Even if I am probably right, unless I'm positive. But confrontation wise, no.
But picking your battles is important. And I think this is a battle you should pick.
It should, because it's about your rights.
Girl power.
And
Girl
I think
power.
the main thing is she was saying that guy said, what rights do men have that women don't have? So, I mean, it takes a simple Google search.
Print it out.
And you can print it out.
Google. And once
Thank
you get
God
to the
for
level of
Google.
being like Jennifer Lawrence versus Chris
Chris
Pratt or whatever,
Pratt.
that's millions of dollars that
Yeah.
somebody else is making just because they have a dick and
Mhm.
identify as a man.
Yep. 79 cents on the dollar.
It's
So-
crazy. It just I'm sweating.
It's
and
like
I don't
we're
have
taxed
deodorant
double.
on.
Like,
It's
fuck
so
that.
obnoxious.
Yeah. So
And we have periods. It's like, what the F?
Yeah,
Can we
what
get a
the
break?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Like we can bleed for 5 days
Yeah.
and live.
come,
So
Pay
we're pretty
me.
badass.
I can literally bleed out for 7 fucking days and survive. and you stub your toe and you're like, I'm dead. Okay, guys, we're going on to a commercial and we'll be back.
This episode of Don't Blame Me is brought to you by Casper. Casper is a sleep brand that continues to revolutionize its line of products to create an exceptionally comfortable sleep experience one night at a time. Casper's mattresses are designed by humans for humans. The original Casper mattress combines multiple supportive memory foams for a quality sleep service with just the right sink and just the right bounce. Casper's breathable design helps you sleep cool and regulate your body temperature throughout the night. They are not just a mattress company. No, no, no. Casper offers a wide array of products to ensure overall better sleep experience. Casper's mattresses are made in the USA, and buying the Casper is easy. Order online, and it's delivered to your door in a compact box with free shipping and free return to the US and Canada. Considering we spend 1/3 of our lives on a mattress, it is so important to truly sleep on a mattress before committing. That's why Casper gives you 100 nights to try it out. I am personally a huge fan of Casper mattresses. I have one in my guest bedroom, and boy, oh boy, is it honestly comfier than the one I paid a lot of money for in my master bedroom. Honestly, guys, I should really get a new mattress for that bedroom. But they're so incredibly comfortable. They're so easy. If you are somebody who lives alone, or maybe you don't have like really, really, really strong biceps, and you're like, oh, I don't really know how I would carry a mattress up a flight of stairs. My friend and I did it. And I mean, I'd say we're pretty strong, but we're definitely not like bodybuilders. It was amazing. It was crazy. It was super, super, super easy, and it's comfortable. Get $50 towards select mattresses by visiting casper.com/blame and using promo code BLAME at checkout. That's $50 towards select mattresses by visiting casper.com/blame and using the promo code BLAME at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, guys, we're back and we're going on to the next call.
Hi, my name's I'm an 18-year-old and I'm at university, and so I'm living in a dorm, which means I have a roommate, and my roommate has been so great so far. I love her. She's my closest friend at my university, and she recently started dating one of the friends that we met here, which is perfectly fine, no problems with that. I'm also friends with him, so there's no issues there, but he sleeps over a lot, which is still fine. No problems there either. But one night I was having trouble sleeping and I woke up and, they were fucking on the bed next to me. And like, I was just, kind of disturbed by this. Not a pleasant thing to wake up to. And like, part of me was like, did it really happen? Were they like moving around? But then like, when I was cleaning the room, there was like a condom wrapper on the floor. So, kind of makes sense. And I thought that maybe it would just be a one-time thing and I wouldn't have to deal with it. But I don't know if like it's actually been like entirely having sex again while I'm sleeping right next to them. But there's definitely been like some stuff going on, and like, it's not so much that I mind them doing that in the room. I don't care, but it's when I'm sleeping, when I'm there. And like, I'm a very, very non-confrontational person. So I really don't want to have to like bring this up and be like, hey, you guys need to stop having sex while I try to sleep, because it's messing with my sleep schedule. But at this point, I don't know what to do because, it's still going on. And it's not like I never leave the room. I have classes when they don't. And so, yeah, I don't know what else to do. So calling for some advice. And it's also an embarrassing situation for both of us. But yeah, I'm very non-confrontational and I don't like to create awkward situations. And I really like them as a couple, and just embarrassing kind of awkward situation going on. I would like some advice.
This is so gnarly.
I would just like to say, out of all the terrible things I did as a roommate, shout out to my roommate Dree from college. I'm sorry, I was the fucking worst. I never, ever fucking once did that. Not once.
This is not cool.
It's not. And as someone who was a terrible person, even I'm saying that's fucking not cool.
You cannot do this. You absolutely, I'm so sorry. But if your roommate doesn't know that you know, you have to tell her. And honestly, if she's a decent person, she'll be mortified.
She's gonna be fucking mortified.
She has to be so embarrassed in
Unless she
submission.
gets offline.
That is disgusting. I don't know. I mean, well, hey, you do you, but like
that just means it
then
won't
you're
end.
screwed. Then you're screwed truly.
As she's getting screwed.
Exactly.
But here's my thing. One question. Is she drunk? Like, do they think they're being really quiet? Or is it like, oh, we're tipsy? Like that kind of.
How big is this dorm room?
Definitely
Also,
super fucking small.
My dorm room was like the size of like an animal cage.
Yeah,
like,
and where does
so
he
little.
live?
Can you go to his house? Or can she go to his
dorm?
house?
Can she go to his dorm? I feel like boys don't care about that nearly as much as girls do.
You need to get like a code system or something.
Yeah,
in
like the
place.
tie on the door or
the sock.
The
sock on the door.
What did we used to do? My thing, I just was not with freshmen, so I was like, I'm not gonna fuck
You're
anybody
gonna
who's in
go
a dorm.
to like an outside
I'm
party
not having
location.
sex in a twin extra long.
I feel like
Fuck
you honestly, this is so awkward, but you have to say something. To
I would
her.
say text her, honestly. Like,
yeah, that's a good idea.
I would
Megan.
just be like, would literally say, hey, because on it, this is going to, I'm thinking about it from your perspective and also from hers. She's going to be super fucking mortified. And I would literally just text her and say, be like, hey, I've been sitting on this for a while and I'm feeling super awkward about it. And I've been like toying with like, if I should say something or if not. And I would hope that if I was in the situation, like you would say something to me too. But like,
I woke up in the middle of the night and you guys were boning and it made me really uncomfortable.
But you could also be like a little more subtle if you wanted and be like, I'm a pretty light sleeper, if you get what I'm saying. And there's been some times recently when you and so have been sleeping or that you guys have been up and I have been looked
Heard
like
some
a
rumblings.
and I've been able there's some stuff because she's gonna fucking pick up on it. If she's like, I'm confused, then I would be like, I am not as heavy of a sleeper as you think, and I've been hearing you guys getting it on, and I'm like totally happy you guys are having a safe sex life because I found the condom wrapper. So glad you're not getting pregnant.
Congrats.
But like I would really I'm totally like happy for you guys, but I just feel a little uncomfortable
because I live here in this room.
Yeah, and be like, and I'm not upset, and like you guys, like obviously this room is just as much yours as mine, but I think we should come up with a system
exactly
of when of like
for private time.
Yeah.
So that you can have private time too in your room.
Exactly.
So you could do whatever you want.
She's monopolizing this.
Yes, this could be a great system.
I can't even honestly though, I once whatever. I'm not going to explain this person too much, so like won't be an issue. You can't unhear your friends having sex. Like you literally, like that is something that's scarred with. I once was I was at a party in high school. Oh, it literally sends me like just back. It's a party in high school. My friend and I forget like why we were like pissy and we're like, we're going to bed early, but we weren't even really. So it's one of my friends who's a girl, and we're both laying in the bottom. We're laying in the top bunk, and we also kind of wanted to like grab like a good bed. Because we're this like massive house on the beach, and we like want to make sure like we have a good room before everyone else like passes out drunk, and we're like have to sleep on a couch. We were like whatever, and we were like talking and like just like hanging out because the boys that we liked or whatever didn't show up. So it was just like whatever, girl time. We start falling asleep, and we're like pretty much like we're asleep, and the door opens, and it's obviously been hours. We're like okay, cool, like the party's like winding down, and two people climb into the bed. It's a bunk bed, like the bed below us, which again expected that. We knew there were gonna be other people sleeping here, all of our friends, and like we both at the same time just wait. They just you just hear it. You hear
and what
it start
did you
happening.
Do? Were
The
you
whole
like
fucking
knock?
bunk bed is rocking, and her and I just roll over like each other. Like, oh my.
You were like involved in it.
And we realized
at that point.
30 seconds in, we realized we know exactly who it is, which is even worse.
And
we're like, oh my God. And both of us the entire time are just like covering our mouths, like screaming internally, being like, we can't fucking say anything because like it has now been going on for like a long enough time that we're like, hi, I'm awake up here. There's people up here. Honestly, we kept this secret for like 5 years and finally told them like later. Like, by the way, guys, we know what happened then.
Because we were on the top bunk.
Oh my God.
That's horrifying.
I still, to this day, like I still like every time I see these people, I'm like,
it's so awkward. You have to say something if you want to continue being friends. Because if you're like me, I'll just be like putting it off. And then I'm just like suddenly trying to ignore the person.
Yeah.
So that I don't have to be around them. And then it's like you're not friends anymore, but you really like her. So just rip the Band-Aid. I say, like, you had a good point about like being vague. I just say, like, dude, I woke up in the middle of the night. You guys were having sex. Just want to let you know I'm a light sleeper.
Yeah. Or say
She's gonna freak out.
tape the condom wrapper to like the mini fridge and be
Hey,
like,
found this.
found this. Would love if you guys didn't have sex while I'm in the room. Also, that's just like so like not polite.
But honestly, what if there are people that like to be watched?
Which there's no issue with that. I think
But does the watcher doesn't?
Yeah,
is it
that's a
the-
consenting
that's
thing.
a
You can't
consensual
consent for
thing.
somebody else to be like, I know you don't want to watch us have sex, but it turns me on, so you fucking have to watch us fuck.
I'm sure you could easily find someone.
I'm so sure. You're at
I'm
college.
sure the
People
market on that is
experiment.
great.
Yeah. Go on like I don't know.
Go on Craigslist.
Yeah.
Misconnection.
But don't have her invite the Craigslist viewers to your
No,
dorm.
please.
And also, like, if it gets to be that point, like, you can just like you don't want to have to ask your RA for you to switch rooms. And also, she can just go have sex in his room, like, right?
Yeah, or like a car or something.
Yeah, get creative. You went to high school. Come on.
Oh
Get
my gosh,
thrifty.
these situations are just bringing back so many dorm memories. I'm
Oh
so
my
glad I don't live in the
gosh.
dorms anymore, but it was so fun.
Yeah, I think my worst situation that I had that's only somewhat similar to this is I came home wasted, obviously, and I was like super fucking drunk. Took my contacts out. I didn't realize that my roommate like had the guy that she was dating over. And like they weren't doing anything; they were just watching a movie. But like I was so drunk.
Did you start taking all your clothes off?
Took all my clothes off, and she's there like, and she's like been like first of all, like they have a light on like by her bed, so like it's not pitch black. And she's like, and I turn around and I literally crawled into bed, and it wasn't until like I went to like plug my phone, and I just see that they're both staring at me from the other bed. I'm like, oh my god,
Hi.
completely butt naked. But you know, it never happened again. So
Memories.
gotta tell her. Gotta fucking tell her. Or start recording it and then just like text her the
And then
voice
you get
message.
to sell it,
It
you
is
know.
illegal. I'm kidding. Don't do it.
Oh, that's illegal.
Oh, the best things are.
Aren't they though?
On to the next call.
Hi, Megan. I'm 25. I live in a small city. I'm a young wife and a young mom. I've got 2 super cute kids. And I recently had an experience that I wanted to get your perspective on. So I'm home late from work one night, and I'm running an errand, a quick errand for my husband on my way home. It's like 7 o'clock at night. It should be noted that while I'm 25, I look 20 at best, but I could easily pass for 18. I look very, very young. And I walk into the grocery store. I'm walking up this aisle, minding my own business, when this middle-aged, easily late 30s, early 40s man just starts to talk at me. And seemingly harmless, not overly flirty, I just kind of ignore him and I'm going about my business. When he goes to walk past me, says something to the effect of, "Oh, I'm just so shy," and then touches me. And I am incensed. I let him walk away because he continued walking away, and I'm not super confrontational, but I'm really, really upset. And really annoyed that a random stranger would think it was okay to talk to me when I wasn't even looking at him or responding to him in any way, and I'm just trying to mind my business, but mostly to put his hands on me in any fashion because I think that's super inappropriate. I'm not a super touchy-feely, huggy kind of person, but even then, touching strangers is not okay to me. So my friends and family are, not all of them, but some of them have kind of laughed and rolled their eyes at me. Come on, you're being kind of silly, and this is a little ridiculous. But I don't think it is. So what do you think, Megan? Am I overreacting and getting a little too upset about this random stranger thinking that he can touch me and invade my privacy and my space when I'm just trying to run an errand after work? Or are they right and I should probably tone it down?
You're not overreacting. Fuck this, dude.
This is one of my many pet peeves, but especially in the conversation that's happening surrounding women's rights, specifically women, or at least myself, I oftentimes find that I am physically smaller than many men. And I have on many occasions felt taken advantage of because of my physical size. And it is the most I feel like a fire burning inside of me just thinking about this. I had a recent experience with something like this where I actually tried to chase the man down on foot.
Fuck yeah, you did.
Unsuccessfully. For me, I'm like at this place, you know, at my age and being a woman and like knowing who I am, that I don't necessarily take offense to it personally as much as I do thinking little girls out in the world right now are going to have to deal with this, and that is not okay. So that's why I chased this man down. Couldn't catch him. Then got in my car and tried to find him. Thank God above I did not find him because I was so angry. I don't know like what I would have done. But I think you're totally valid. No one should touch you, man or woman,
without your consent.
No, that is so strange. And if you felt uncomfortable, it's not okay.
No, I mean, I'm also not a huggy, touchy-feely person at all. And I feel uncomfortable when people I know will like reach out and like I've worked with guys before who were like will just like reach out and like go like this and like touch my shoulder or something like that. And I feel uncomfortable and I know this person. Like I know this person's first and last name. I know where they grew up. Like I know those things about him, but like if I didn't ask for that and we don't have that kind of relationship that I've set the precedent for, like that's not fucking okay. I don't think you're overreacting at all. Like at all. I mean, I was at the grocery store like a couple months ago and some guy was like giving me some like creepy fucking look as I walked in and I was with one of my friends and when we were there and like we're walking through the frozen food aisle and I could tell like he's not fucking shopping. He's just sitting there and I'm like looking at something and he like comes up and then it's like I shut the freezer door and he's sitting there. It's like, I just have to tell you like I just like want to make sure that you know that you're really pretty and I really hope that like somebody in your life can tell you that because you really are. And I was like, I literally turned to him. I was like, that's not your place, sir. This is extremely inappropriate. You're making me very uncomfortable. And he's like, oh, girl can't take a compliment. I was like, no, I can take a compliment, but you are just, this is disgusting. And like went fully off. My friend's like, oh my God, Megan. But I think like if it makes you uncomfortable, first of all, not to promote someone else's podcast, but Anna Faris, on her podcast, she had Ariel Kebble on it.
Yeah, the actress.
Yes. And they talked about, this was like months ago, but they did a whole like Me Too themed one. And they really talked about the shame that women feel when they are in these situations and they don't speak up and about how there's this like embarrassed giggle that a lot of women do when they're in a situation where someone says something really fucking nasty and disgusting and you don't want to make them feel uncomfortable because, you know, they made you feel uncomfortable. So naturally we always assume like, oh, well, I don't want to make you feel as bad as I do. So you uncomfortably giggle. And for that, it kind of feels like an omission to being like, I let this in, which is not true.
I mean, I've done that.
And exactly
before,
what you're saying. But like literally when it comes down to physical size, there are some things that like, yeah, you can't always speak up and go back because like ultimately like you need to think about your safety. And if you feel like you can't say anything and you can't come back at this and be like, that made me uncomfortable because you are a small woman walking alone in a grocery store and you feel like my safety is in jeopardy, I'm not going to say anything. That doesn't mean that you've welcomed that behavior at all. It just meant that like, hey, I assessed the situation. I was not comfortable to say anything, but that doesn't mean that what that person did was okay at all. And yeah, I mean, like, I don't really even, I guess.
And I'm at this place now too, where especially with the situation I was mentioning, like when we first started talking about this, where it makes me so angry that in those situations, I have no problem walking back to that man and being like, you touched me, don't ever touch me again and don't touch someone else without them inviting it or asking for it. That's not okay. And I feel like sometimes when you do that, like it really knocks the wind out of people. And that I feel like as women is something that unfortunately we're just going to need to do until this stops happening. Cause like I remember after I had this incident and it was out in a like normal in my parents' neighborhood, which is like suburbia, this man came up to me. And I remember as I was like chasing him,
fuck yes.
I passed by so many kids that were playing in this quiet suburban neighborhood. And I was like, all these little girls just trying to skateboard in their front yard aren't going to be able to because there's going to be a bunch of creeps or our society is perpetuating that this is okay. Yeah. So I think for a while, you're just going to have to like get real uncomfortable and get in people's faces.
Yeah. And I think that fire, like you'll feel that. And I think obviously when it happens, like you have something like this and it happens and like you're more taken aback and now like you have enough of this anger that the next time this happens, like you're not overreacting. Like, I mean, there's even like the simple stuff, like I like parking garage attendants, when it's like, I think also a lot of older guys feel like they can play the cold, be like, oh gosh, like I'm like, you're such a pretty young girl and you're supposed to feel non-threatened by this like old man kind of thing. But I literally started, like, the last time that happened to me, it was like an old man being like, oh, like I'm so happy to see like your pretty face like every single morning and all that stuff. I was like, please just take my ticket, like please don't do any of this. And the issue is like, for a while I was like, fuck, am I being rude? And I'm like, no, fuck. I mean, to quote My Favorite Murder, fuck politeness. Like, I don't owe this man shit. Like, you old man are telling me that you think I'm pretty and I'm supposed to feel super fucking flattered that this like old dude has like a semi hard on. And I'm like,
imagine the tables if they were turned. If it was like a 65-year-old woman, like telling a 22-year-old guy, like, damn, you're so sexy. They'd be like, what? This is the weirdest shit ever. But it's just something
we're trying to coddle everyone's feelings when no one is coddling ours.
No. So I think you're going to have to get uncomfortable for a while. And I have to say, like, I'm not a confrontational person, but this specific thing, just because, like, I feel like wage inequality and a lot of other things I personally feel I do face are things I don't have a problem standing up for myself with. But when it comes to the fact that I just weigh like 30 or 50 or 100 pounds less than someone, that allows them to take advantage of me. Like, I'm sorry. No. Also, feel free to call the police anytime you want to.
And carry mace in your purse if it's allowed in your state. And if it's not allowed in your state, just have
do
it
a
in
lot
secret
of
compartment.
Billy Blank's workout videos. Is he still relevant?
I have no idea who that is.
Tybo. Yeah, I roundhouse.
Darren's dance groups.
Yes!
He was before that, but yeah.
Oh, really?
He's so 90s.
Yeah.
You were like
You're a
seventh
baby.
I was a
grade.
big fan of Darren's dance groups. But yeah, I would say, fuck. Ugh.
So obnoxious.
Kick some ass, dude.
Yeah.
And you're not
a
crazy.
mom too, so that's exciting. I feel like you can train our next generation to be good humans.
You're gonna raise some woke as fuck kids.
Hells yeah.
I bet they're cute too. Could you tweet us pictures,
please? Oh my gosh.
Okay, guys. So it's time for Producer's Corner, and we have a callback. So Producer's Corner, guys, is where producers pick either a favorite call, a most memorable call, or in this case, this is a callback from a previous episode, someone updating us on their situation. And I know what this one is about, but Joslyn doesn't.
I'm so excited.
We'll give you a summary.
Yeah, this is from episode 16 with Arden Rose.
So this was a caller whose boyfriend was going to jail, and they started dating after he'd been sentenced and all that stuff. He was going to spend, was it a year? A year, 6 months, and then 6 months. 6 months in jail, 6 months in like a jail facility that's not jail, like rehabilitation.
Like a rehab
kind of
thing.
Yeah. And her worry and fear was like she didn't have a lot of female friends, and she didn't know how she was going to handle him going to jail and how she was going to be able to support him, and how it was hard on her emotionally, but she also knew it was hard on him, and like how to deal with that kind of stuff, and like the loss of your best friend and all that stuff. And the advice that Arden and I gave, it's pretty fucking good, I'd have to say.
It was real. I was like, how the hell are you going to do this one?
I feel like it was pretty good.
It was good.
We told her that him going to jail, and she addressed it in her original call, was that she knows that he needs to suffer the consequences for the crimes he committed. But what we had said was so much that like him going to jail and him doing all that stuff, that needs to be a time about him, and he's not going to have a lot of shit to do. And so our whole thing is that we didn't want her pining for him and her not living her life, just kind of living her life around him being in jail and like visiting him and responding to letters and doing all that kind of stuff, and just not living your life. And the fact that we said that the space that they should have would be even more beneficial to him, because then he can really, I don't know, just like not so heavily rely on a relationship when he should be really focusing and like doing a lot of like
introspective work.
Yes. And we said that also that she shouldn't feel guilty if she decides that she doesn't want to like ultimately deal with it, because it's really super fucking hard, and that prison melds with a very good the word I can't say.
Revelation.
I keep talking about ballet, where it was like prison changes you, which is true. And so this is her callback.
Hey, Megan. It is the girl whose boyfriend went to prison. A little less emotional this time, just as crazy though. So yeah, it's been about 3.5 months, and he is gone. he's been gone for about 3.5 months. So, I don't know. Yeah, I'm taking your advice currently, and it's working well-ish. I don't know. I feel like it's still kind of early on, and so I'm still like really, really sad and kind of grieving. And I mean, he writes me letters all the time, and I just am so busy because I work a full-time job and I have 2 dogs, and so I'm just kind of constantly going, and I feel really bad because I feel like he's kind of wanting me to give him all this attention that I can't give him because I'm not locked up in jail. I have a life to live. And like, I know that sounds like kind of rude maybe, but like he's expecting me to like be able to like talk to him all the time because he calls me all the time and then wants me to pay for the phone calls. And then I'm just kind of in this place where I'm like, not over it because I obviously like I love him, but like I can't be giving him as much time as I feel like he wants me to. And it's taking kind of a taxing effect on me. So I kind of am trying to like live my life myself, but I feel like he is like not. And I don't know, I'm asking you for more advice, but I don't know how to like tell him like, hey, like maybe we should like live our own lives. Like I want to be dating him. So like, I don't know. I need your help.
I would never say I told you so. I wouldn't do that. But it does feel nice to doesn't feel nice to have predicted this. I'm really honestly super fucking happy that you feel this way. As opposed to just feeling like crippled and like just like numb and sad
Just
and like
crying all day, not
like,
doing anything.
The fact that you're able to like 3.5 months down the road of this of being like, I have my own life, I have shit to do, and you know that, and you really want to focus on that. I think that's fucking amazing. The great thing is you can tell him and he can't really do a lot of follow up.
Can't do anything.
Yeah.
I think you already know the answer. By the end of the call, similar to one we had earlier, you already know like where this is going. I think you just have to continue to follow your instincts. Cause I think love, like relationships when you're an adult, and you can like choose if you want to be in a relationship. You don't have to. So I don't feel like it's something that should complete you. It should just like make your life better, be like the bonus Jonas sprinkle to your already amazing life. It sounds like, girlfriend, you've already like had an open heart and an open mind by dating someone that was going to prison. Like that's pretty awesome. And it sounds like you made some sacrifices there. But if he's not willing to sacrifice knowing that you're getting a life and having a life and being happy for you, then that could be like a little problem signal, you know?
I'm in agreement with that. I think you can like, whether you want to say it, if you go visit him or call him or write a letter and be like, hey, I obviously have feelings for you. But the last 3.5 months have been really eye-opening for me. And I've been able to see that I'm not sure that I really want to like, whether like you said you still love him, which like I totally understand. I'm not sure if I want to actively pursue maintaining a long distance relationship when the distance is me with our dogs and you in jail. Like I think that's fully valid. And also like if he has all of this like massive faith in your relationship, like maybe he'll get out and you guys will want to end and you guys will get back together. But like the idea of staying together, all this is going to do is you're just going to resent him more and more and more, and he's going to drive you fucking crazy. And you're also not going to be able to be there for him as much as he wants you to be there for him, because it's never going to be enough, because like obviously he's going through a really tough time. And I think this is kind of like a cold turkey thing of like, you need to cut him loose so he can really experience this, and not, I don't know, like just rely so heavily on you. So, I mean, I'm personally I'm not a fan of ghosting or breadcrumbing. Like I would say
breadcrumbing. That's a good one.
Fuck breadcrumbing. Like I know what you're fucking doing. I would just like honestly say that to him and be like, I'm not saying that like this is considered a breakup like right this minute, but I think we should schedule and have a call like once a month or like once every 2 weeks kind of thing, and set that and then like loop back to where it is. And then also just be, I don't know, I just like be open to the idea of like you meet someone else that you like end up having feelings for. That doesn't make you a bad person at all.
Because you're not doing time. Like, you know, you should be living your life.
You don't have to pay for his consequences.
No, not at all. And this is about him too. Like he should be really like having some time to reflect and think about his own journey. And maybe you guys being together is stopping him from doing that
That's
too.
what I think
you know?
I think it's going to hold him back from being able to like not like necessarily achieve his full potential, but to like really, really fucking like learn the lessons he needs to learn. I think if he has, not that I'm saying you shouldn't support him, but I think like that you're both of you right now, you're kind of holding each other back a little bit. So if you feel like you're not ready to like be done with all of this, I would say just like set some boundaries and set some like strict limits of when you're going to talk and how long it's going to be for. And then from there, if you still feel like at that point, like he's asking too much of you and all that kind of stuff, then I think it's time to like cut those ties.
And
then,
don't feel bad having fun and living your life and going out on the weekends. Like, don't feel guilty.
You didn't fucking sell drugs?
No, yeah. Please continue living your life.
Yeah. And also don't do drugs.
Yes.
Everybody listening and watching.
What she said.
Don't do them. Okay, that is the end of our episode.
This was so cool. This is probably
you're
like
great.
I'm just trying to keep up with you. I was really nervous.
No.
I'm like sweating. Is my armpit sweating?
And it is. Wait,
Yeah,
is that the one that one doesn't sweat?
No,
though, right?
this one sweats more.
This
You know
one
me
doesn't
so
sweat at all,
no, hardly at all. Just this one. It all comes out of this one.
It's so fucking funny.
It's so true. Thanks for having me
oh my
on.
God, come back anytime.
I would love to.
Oh my God, I'm here always. This is my house.
I'll just walk on over.
Please do it. If you guys want to check out Joss, they can check your socials.
You can social medias at Joslyn Davis on all
You
the
have
things.
them all just like that?
Yeah. Joslyn's kind of a weird name. It's just me and one of Tiger Woods' mistresses.
You're in good company. Okay, guys, if you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, please leave us a review in the podcast app. Just search Don't Blame Me. You're probably already there. And if you're not there, maybe you're watching it on YouTube, in which case, enjoy the YouTube video, give it a comment, give it a like. Hey, subscribe while you're there. And then go over to the podcast app. So follow us on all of those things. If you guys want to call in for a future episode, you can call 310-694-0976. One more time, leave a voicemail at 310-694-0976. And international people, you can email us at meganpodcast@gmail.com with a audio file of your question. So just record it on your phone and send it on over. And guys, if you could do us a massive favor, and if you click the link in the description, we have a podcast survey so you guys can get ads here that you actually want to hear, which basically just means what in the world do you want coupons for? What do you want percentages off? I mean, I'm not even, I wouldn't even say I'm guilty, but like 90% of the coupons that I like use are from listening to other podcasts.
Same. So
let us know by taking that survey so we can make sure that you guys are getting discounts on things you actually want. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Thanks, Joss, for being on.
Megan, thanks for having me.
We should do one with Lil soon.
Oh, sweaty balls.
Sweaty balls. The trio's
love
back.
that. Love that.
Boobs on. Sphere? Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Don't Blame Me is a production by me, produced and directed by Jack Ferry, associate producer Melissa DeMons, edited by Melissa DeMons, post-production sound by Chris Henry, and music by Giacomo Picasso and Ryan Hunter. I will see you guys in 2 weeks, and don't blame me if your life bursts into flames before then.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm. Welcome to the small town of Chinook, where faith runs deep and secrets run deeper. In this new thriller, religion and crime collide when a gruesome murder rocks the isolated Montana community. Everyone is quick to point their fingers at a drug-addicted teenager, but local deputy Ruth Vogel isn't convinced. She suspects connections to a powerful religious group. Enter federal agent V.B. Laureau, who has been investigating a local church for possible criminal activity. The pair form an unlikely partnership to catch the killer, unearthing secrets that leave Ruth torn between her duty to the law, her religious convictions, and her very own family. But something more sinister than murder is afoot, and someone is watching Ruth. Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you love Disney? Do you love top 10 lists? Then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the Magical Millennial.
And I'm the Dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. The parks, the movies, the music, the food, the lore. There is nothing we don't cover on our show.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed.
I had Danielle and Megan record some answers to seemingly meaningless questions. I asked Danielle, what insect song is typically higher pitched in hotter temperatures and lower pitched in cooler temperatures?
You got this.
No, I didn't.
Don't believe that. About a wish coming true? Well, I didn't either. Of course, I'm just a
cicada. I'm crying. I'm so sorry, Jiminy.
You win that one.
So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.